Valley Sports Talk is now brought to you by Big Shiny Windows, the Valley's clear choice for professional window cleaning, providing residential and commercial window cleaning along with siding and eavesdrop cleaning since 2004. Check out the link below for more information on
Episode number 61 of the Valley Sports Talk podcast. I don't know why, but me and Brandon just are being not very smart, and we keep leaving it till literally an hour before this is supposed to go up. So this will be up a bit later again, like last week's episode. But that's okay. We still get an episode out. We still hope you guys are taking time to listen to it. And football season's back. Yesterday was the first game of the 2022-23 season. We're going to recap that a bit. Unfortunately, like a fake football fan, I did not watch the game where Brandon did. So Brandon will have a bit more insight. I did watch the highlights. I know it's not the same. I think we'll go through the rest of the games, make predictions of who we think's going to win. We'll keep track of that, kind of like what we did last year. And then I'm going to bring Brandon through the NFL Top 100, which came out a couple weeks ago. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to go through the snubs, and Brandon's going to give me his thoughts on that. But without further ado, let's recap the game last night. The Bills took it pretty handily, 31-10 over the Super Bowl champions. Josh Allen looked great. The two picks I don't really think were his fault. Rams came out. I called the game. I said it was going to be a Super Bowl slump. I didn't think they were going to slump that bad. But I did call that the Bills were going to win for a Super Bowl slump. I don't know about you. You watched the full game.
Yeah, I mean, I think can't remember last week. I think I picked the Bills as well, but um, I don't think people were thinking it was going to be this much of a landslide. It wasn't very close. I mean, it was 10-10 after half, but even then, um, like Buffalo was definitely the better team the entire game. It really showed in the second half. The Rams just couldn't get anything going. No one really on the team looked good except for Cooper Kupp. Like the defense didn't look good. Matt Stafford didn't look good. The O-line didn't look good. I mean, where was Cam Akers? They just basically Cam Akers had 3 rushes for 0 yards. Daryl Henderson got most of the work, and even then, they didn't use Daryl Henderson a whole lot. So they were almost kind of predictable, and Buffalo really came into this building and played really well. What I think was really good for Buffalo is um, like I don't even know the word, the amount of people they used in the offense. They used all 3 running backs, although the rookie only went once and had a fumble. Um, but Devin Singletary looked pretty good. Zach Moss, although he had a fumble as well, he had some touches. And then they really spread the ball around. Like Gabe Dave I think he was 4 for 5. Um, Obviously, you got Diggs, who had a big night. You had Isaiah McKenzie make a couple catches. There's just a lot of people. Dawson Knox was in there. I think he only had 1 catch, but
Yeah,
they
one
spread the
play.
ball. They spread the ball around, and everybody there was played really well, I feel. Yeah, it was just kind of disappointing for the first game of the season. We're all expecting a big, close, high-scoring game, and it was high scoring on one side, but it wasn't very close.
Yeah, another thing that really stood out to me, I know, like I said, didn't watch the game, but the Rams got Matthew Stafford got sacked 7 times, and the Bills didn't blitz once all game. There was no registered blitz in the box score, and they still let up 7 sacks. So that's sort of that has to be a major concern for the Rams moving forward, because next week they play my Atlanta Falcons. This should be an easy win, but especially with the Falcons not having a very good pass rush. But with a team that just blitzed, whenever their biggest name is Von Miller, who is a bit older, I mean, he still put up 2 sacks. He was very good last night. That's got to be a cause of concern.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, obviously there's only one game last night because it was Thursday night football. So we'll jump right into some predictions. Brandon, I hope you have the games up because I don't.
I I do have the games up. That's my job.
Good. That's your job.
um, we'll start off with Noah's Atlanta Falcons hosting the Saints.
Um, Atlanta always wins week 1. They always do, no matter how bad their team is. And they had the Saints number last year. I feel like they'll have it again. So maybe a bit biased, but I'm gonna go with my Falcons.
Um, this is the week. This is the year the Falcons don't win week 1. Um, I think Jameis is going to be. I mean, although he played good last year, I think just him being hurt, and possibly them missing the playoffs because of that, he's going to come out firing. And with that eye surgery, I think he's going to be a little bit better. So I'm going to pick the Saints in that one. And then we move on to San Fran traveling to Chicago to play the Bears.
Yeah, I'm expecting this one to be a low-scoring game. It's Trey Lance's first career start. The Bears aren't a very exciting team to watch right now, but I still think that San Fran is a better team, better roster, probably better quarterback. I'd probably still take Trey Lance over Justin Fields just because I'm not really the biggest believer in Justin Fields. But that defensive line will probably get to Justin Fields and make him try to. They'll have to make. He will have to make plays to be able for the Bears to pull up an upset. So I'm going to go with San Fran.
There's always upsets every week, and I'm gonna choose this to be one of them. I'm actually gonna choose Chicago, just because Fields has a little bit more experience. He played a couple games last year. He didn't look particularly well, but he gained a little bit of chemistry with Mooney. I feel like he's going to use that a lot. Obviously, David Montgomery is still a workhorse. I feel like he's going to get his touches no matter what. I mean, the biggest thing is can Chicago get to Trey Lance? Because I feel like if they can take away his legs, they got a big chance on winning this game because Trey Lance is known for his legs and not so much for his throwing. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to pick Chicago anyways, the home team. Then we got Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
So it's gonna be an interesting one. I've seen a lot of people picking the Steelers to finish third in this division over the Browns, and I could see it. I did like both. Obviously, we know that Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback. Personally, not the pick I would have went because I don't think that they're going to be competitive this year. Not that they're not going to be competitive, but not that they're going to be fighting for a Super Bowl. You might as well give Kenny Pickett the reins day one, but they didn't. But I'm still going to go with Cincinnati. I could see another Super Bowl hangover, even though they didn't win it last year for Cincinnati, coming out a bit slow. We're going to be expecting a lot out of Joe Burrow, so he's going to have to show up, and then we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm going Bengals.
I'm also gonna go Bengals. They obviously have a really good roster, and their only weakness they addressed in the offseason, that being their O line. They're going to be put to the test right away in week one. So it's a pretty big week for Cincinnati's O line to show everybody that the additions they did make are actually going to prove useful. So we'll see how that wraps up. If Cincinnati's O line is as good as everybody's saying it is, they shouldn't have a problem against Pittsburgh. I think that's Pittsburgh's biggest weapon there is getting the team's quarterbacks, and if they can hold that off, I don't think Mitch Trubisky will give Cincinnati too much to worry about.
I do think this game is gonna be a bit more competitive.
I do too, to be honest. I mean, Pittsburgh has I think people are just writing off Pittsburgh for no reason. Like their offense is really good. They got solid. They obviously got a really good running back. They got good wide receivers. And Big Ben didn't move last year. Like
Well,
at least
we gotta remember
Trubisky
the
moved.
fact that they made the playoffs last year with Big Ben as their quarterback.
Yeah, some could say their roster is better this year, and they made playoffs last year. But we're both gonna go Bengals there, but we do think it'll be closer than people think. Next we have the Patriots traveling to Miami to face the Dolphins.
Yeah, Miami did get better this year, but I'm still not sold on Tua. If you can show me this year or this couple weeks that he's the franchise quarterback that everybody thinks he is, then maybe I'll take them seriously. But I'm gonna go Pittsburgh or not Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go New England. They made the playoffs last year. I still think they have a solid roster. And I think their team's just all around better than Miami. So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. I keep saying Pittsburgh with New England.
I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins. I'm not totally sold on Tua either, but I think Mac plays a little bit too slow. Don't get me wrong, I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but their offense just doesn't scream to me as much as the Dolphins does. I think the Pats defense is better, so we'll see how that works. But Miami, I mean, they got Tyreek Hill, obviously. They got Jalen Waddle, so we'll see if that can can elevate Tua a little bit. But again, I do think you're right. I think it's a big week for Tua. Come out of the gates hot. See if he can get Tyreek Hill. See if he can get Jalen Waddle, and get past that defense. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Miami. I think I've gone all home teams so far. Oh no, your Saints are losing. Never mind. Next we go Baltimore traveling to face the Jets.
Yeah, I don't think we really got to think too much. I think the Baltimore or the Jets are starting Joe Flacco. I think Zach Wilson is ruled out till week 4 with his knee injury. Lamar's probably going to come out today. He did not get a contract extension. They can't negotiate with him now until the end of next season. So I think Lamar's got something to prove. They didn't give him the money that he wanted or that he thought he deserved. So I think he's going to come out with a statement. He's got a point to. He's got to prove that he's worth all that money, and I think that he's going to have a massive season. So I'm going to go Ravens.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think him not signing that contract is worse for the Jets because, like you said, I think he's going to come out really hot. Might even be a little angry. And then, I mean, if the Ravens don't think that you're worth it, go show them you are, and the rest of the league that you are. If maybe, I mean, it'd be crazy if Baltimore didn't sign him at the end of next season, at the end of the season. But let's say they don't, prove it to the rest of the teams that a lot of people have you in top voting for MVP. So go be it. Next we have Jacksonville traveling to Washington.
I'm not very high on Washington this year, other than their defense. I think the one guy who has a lot to prove on that defense is Chase Young. I think he's going to be back for week 1. I'm not 100% sure. Could be wrong. I think Chase Young has a lot to prove. He was a second overall pick 2 years ago. He was known as supposed to be next Aaron Donald, next TJ Watt, next JJ Watt. And obviously he hasn't really shown that yet. Obviously he did tear his ACL last year, so that's a bit of a step back. But I am gonna go with Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is another guy I think who has something to prove. He didn't have a bad rookie season, but he also didn't have a good rookie season. So I think he is going to come out. I do think that they are still going to use James Robinson a lot this year. They've been saying that James Robinson will not be limited on Sunday, and I think that he has the ability to show that he still is the lead back in the system. And I don't know. I like the two-headed punch of Tavon Walker and Josh Allen on the D line for Jacksonville. And I don't think that the who are they playing? I'm completely lost track.
Okay, Washington.
Washington. I don't think the Washington line will be able to defend both of them at the same time.
I'm also gonna go Jags. I did pick them to finish second in their division, so they got to win sometime. Like you said, Trevor Lawrence didn't have the best first year, but he played all year long, so he got a lot of experience. I think he's going to come out better this year. I think the front office showed confidence and belief in him signing. I mean, no stars, but a bunch of wide receivers in free agency to load that wide out. So he's going to have lots of options. I don't know who the lead will be. Maybe Kirk. I'm not too sure, but and then like you said, the James Robinson's still going to be part of it. So they got 2 good running backs. I like this offense. I think they're going to be a lot better than last year. Definitely not bottom of the barrel in the NFL anymore, and there might be a little bit of a learning curve here with Carson Wentz in Washington. So Jacksonville as well for me. Next, we have a very interesting game. We got Cleveland traveling to Carolina to face the Panthers. Baker's revenge game. What do you think there?
This is going to be the one that I'm going to take Carolina, just because I think Baker's, I've been saying this a lot. Baker has this to prove. They traded for Deshaun Watson with his legal troubles. They still traded for him, knowing very well that he could be suspended, but they just did not with Baker. So I think Baker's going to come out with something to prove. Is it in Cleveland?
No.
Oh, that would have been even better. But yeah, I'm like I said, we said this a while ago. I think that the Browns could easily win this. I still think they're the better football team, even with Jacoby Brissett starting. I think he's a more than adequate guy. Not more than adequate, but an adequate guy to start at the realm there. So I could easily see the Browns taking this, but I'm just going to come off the fact that Baker Mayfield has so much burnt up aggression towards this Browns franchise that he's going to come out with a statement.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Panthers. I guess we're agreeing a lot here, but I think this could be one of Baker's best games of his career. I mean,
I think it will be.
I know he's got a lot to prove. Obviously, going against his former team, he's had decent weapons in Cleveland, but I think I mean CMC is obviously an upgrade. DJ Moore is very underrated. They got a pretty good offense over there in Carolina. It's just the defense that's kind of an issue. Um, but again, your defense doesn't got to be an issue when Jacoby Brissett's starting on the other side. I do think Carolina wins it from a big game from Baker. Um, Moving on, we'll probably agree again, is the Colts traveling to Houston.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. I have the Colts winning that division. I have Houston coming last in that division. So I'm gonna pretty easy handily take the Colts.
Yeah, I think the only for Houston fans, just seeing what happens to Damian Pierce in the backfield. How much of a role does he actually get? Sounds like it's going to be a lot, but we'll see how he performs. And then obviously, it's just kind of a battle of the running backs in this one. I
As
mean,
long as they just throw it to Brandon Cooks all day, I'll be happy.
yeah, it's Brandon Cooks and Damian Pierce against Jonathan Taylor and
Pittman.
Michael Pittman. So I think Indianapolis wins this one. Um, I
I
don't.
think they win this 9 times out of 10.
I think they win this 9.9 times out of 10. Um, Next, we have the Eagles traveling to Detroit.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think Detroit did get better this offseason. They're starting to take a couple steps in the right direction. But I'm really high on this Eagles team this year. I really like AJ Brown. I think he's a top 10 receiver. If Miles Sanders can figure it out, he's got all the skills to be a good running back. If not, they can turn to Kenneth Gainwell. Um, Devontae Smith is only going to get better. Jalen Hurts is finally in his second year starting, and I thought he led this team to the playoffs last year. Why can he not do it again? And then that defense, you got Darius Slay, you got Fletcher Cox, you got Derek Barnett, you got Brandon Graham. You got some names on that defense that can make plays. I think the Eagles are a sneaky team this year, and I think that they're going to beat the Lions here.
Yeah, I think I'm having a hard time with this one. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Detroit improved. Um, it seems like, I mean, just from like Hard Knocks and from the end of last season, obviously Dan Campbell's all in. He loves his boys. It seems like the boys love him. Um, I think this is going to be a close one. I might actually just go Detroit here just to see what happens. I mean,
Oh,
obviously you got Jared Goff, but I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown and him really got a connection. You still got Hawkinson, who had a little bit of a down year, a little bit hurt last year, but we'll see how he comes out this year. You got Swift, who I think is going to take a big leap. Um, and I mean, I think if Jalen Hurts can throw the ball, I think won't have a problem against Detroit. But until I mean, he's shown it at times, but until I see it, I'm not gonna. I think he's a good a good quarterback, but I need to see the throwing part. So I'm gonna pick Detroit. Um, Next we got the New York Giants heading to Tennessee.
yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm not that high on Tennessee this year, but I'm still going to pick them in this game. I don't think Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback. I don't think he's the answer in New York. I think they've sort of tried him out for way too long. I think they should move on. But that being said, Saquon looks very good this year. Hopefully, he can put it together for a full healthy season. They do have weapons. They got Kadarius Toney. When Kenny, excuse me, when Kenny Galladay isn't injured, he's a very good receiver. Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, they got names there. They got a good young O line with they've drafted 2 back-to-back O linemen in the top 10 the last 2 years. And their defense, they do have a couple names, but I don't think it's enough to stop Derrick Henry and Robert Woods and Traylon Burks and the Tennessee offense. So I'm gonna go Tennessee week 1.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Tennessee. Again, it's not a game that I mean, I probably won't be tuning into. I mean, my favorite team plays at the same time, so I probably won't be tuning in. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like you said, Saquon. I mean, I think all NFL fans just want to see Saquon, see what he can do. There was so much hype being drafted in the league. He had a really good season, and he hasn't really played since. So I think we're all looking forward to a healthy
Excuse me.
Saquon. Obviously, Derrick Henry's back, so it's kind of a running back battle here. Two really good running backs going at it. I think Ryan Tannehill is. I mean, I don't think I pretty much know Derek. Ryan Tannehill is a little bit better than Daniel Jones, so I think he'll be able to make players like Burks and Woods effective in their and I mean that's Traylon Burks' first game. Robert Woods used to being a second. He's going to have to be a number one, but I think it'll be enough to hold off the Giants for sure, especially at home. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers traveling to Minnesota.
Very good game to start week one. The Packers got worse this offseason. Mainly, I call them getting worse just literally by trading their best player, or not best player, their best weapon in Devontae Adams. Still a bit of a questionable move, in my opinion. And I really like Minnesota this year, so I'm actually going to go Minnesota in week one. I think Justin Jefferson's going to prove that he's a top 3 receiver, if not top 2. Adam Thielen looks good. Dalvin Cook, when he is healthy, he is a top 5, 6 running back. And they have players on defense. You know, they got a couple young corners. They still got Harrison Smith in the back. They got Daniil Hunter, who 2 years ago was very good. He didn't play very much last year. And they got Zadarius Smith. I think Zadarius Smith's going to come out and have a 2-sack game against his former club after they cut him. And I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to really find his guy until a couple weeks to who he wants to throw to. Obviously, you do have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the backfield with a good 1-2 punch. And then you got players on defense like Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, and Jair Alexander. But I'm still going to go Vikings.
You know, unfortunately, you're speaking a lot of truth right now. If I wasn't a Packers fan, I feel like as a Packers fan, I have to pick the Packers. If I wasn't, I would probably pick Minnesota. You spoke a lot of truth there. Green Bay and Minnesota tend to go 1-1 every year, each team winning at their home field, and this one's in Minnesota. Dalvin Cook always goes nuts against Green Bay. That's Green Bay's biggest struggle is their run defense, and he finds a way to go for 100 and normally 20 plus with a couple touchdowns. So I think he'll have a big day. Obviously, like you said, you got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and the Packers. We don't know what's coming for the offense. Like you said, it's going to be a lot of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, but who else will it be? Will it be Lazard? Will it be Sammy Watkins? Will it be one of the 2 rookies? Will it be Robert Tonyan? Like you don't know. It could be anybody, and until we find out what that looks like, it's going to be a little sketchy. So I'm going to pick Green Bay, but probably only because I'm a fan. Next we have there's a lot of good 425 games this week.
We're going to be getting back. If you guys didn't know, me and Brandon both go to the same school. We're both in the same program at university. And on the weekend, we have a 2-day canoeing trip. So we're going to miss all of the 1 o'clock games. We'll be getting back right at the start of the 4 o'clock games. And if you're saying that the 4 o'clock games are good, then that means we're missing except for I'm missing Atlanta's week 1. We're missing all of the lower tier games of that week.
The 425 games include the Tennessee one, which isn't very good. But then you got Green Bay, Minnesota, Kansas City, Arizona, and Las Vegas, LA Chargers.
Those are some good games.
All the games above are the 1 o'clock ones, and we've agreed on a lot of them, so I don't think we're going to be missing out on too much. These 4 o'clock ones in the night game.
I know what the night game is already.
Yeah, are the most interesting ones. So I think we're going to be seeing some good football. But moving on, we do have Kansas City traveling to Arizona.
Another good game. I'm still going to go Kansas City. I think just people are writing them off because they lost Tyreek Hill. But we got to put aside that they're basically the same team, just without, a top 3 wide receiver. But they did get in Juju, who I think is going to have a big season. I like Sky Moore. They brought in Marcos Valdes-Scantling, who is a broke man's Tyreek. And I think their defense got better. Even though they did lose the Honey Badger, they replaced them with Justin Reed. So I still think the Chiefs are a good team. I still think they could easily win a series. They still have the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion, in Patrick Mahomes. So I don't see why people are just writing them off. So I'm still going to go with Kansas City.
Yeah, I think Kansas City will end up with a better record this season than Arizona, but in this game, I'm gonna go Arizona. I think it being in Arizona is a big help. Obviously, Kansas City hasn't figured out their offense yet. They haven't really played together, but I don't think there'll be any issue there. I think it's a way different situation than Green Bay. Like I think the additions they brought in are better than the wideouts in Green Bay, and Patrick Mahomes can make anything work, and he's still got Kelsey, so I don't have any concern there. But still, Arizona, they always start the season off hot. Like people forget, they were 7-0 last year, and then their first loss was to Green Bay, but Arizona had a lot of players out for that game. So they always start the season off hot, and I think with all this contract drama that happened with Kyler Murray, I think he's going to come out and play really well. Because there's a lot of talk surrounding, is he the real deal? Is he worth the money? I think he's going to come out and show that he is. And I think beat Kansas City in week 1 in a very high scoring match. To end our 425 games, we have a rematch of the very last week of last season. We have the Raiders and the Chargers. Obviously, the Raiders won that in overtime to claim a playoff spot. Does it change this year?
I believe it does. If you guys have been followers of the channel for a while, I've really pumped up the Chargers this season. I think Justin Herbert is going to win the MVP. He was my pick. They obviously brought in one of the better pass rushers of the last couple of years in Khalil Mack. They have Joey Bosa. They have Derwin James. They just signed for a long deal. They have some good corners. One being Chris Harris Jr., who is a veteran, but I still think he has a lot to give. And then you look at that offense. They got Eckler. I think he's the top 3 running back in the league. They have Keenan Allen, top 10 wide receiver. Mike Williams, top 20 wide receiver. They even have Josh Palmer, who I think has a chance to have a breakout season. And their O-line is good too. They got the rookie from last year, Rashawn Slater. They got Brian Bulaga, former Packer. This team just has playmakers. And I think that they have a chance in the stacked division to make a run. I like you said, you always see the Raiders as a 500 team. I still don't think they're much better than that. I don't think Devontae Adams adds them a win. He adds them maybe plays. He doesn't add them wins. If that kind of makes sense. But I just think that the Chargers are a better team than the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Raiders might be the best 4th place team in the division
Really?
this year. It's just unfortunate because they do have a pretty good team, just in a crazy division. I do have to agree with you, so I'm basically just going to simplify what you said. Basically, what Noah said is they are better in every position. The only arguable one is wide receiver.
Yep.
Hunter Renfro, and
I would
Adams,
I would
or
honestly
Keenan
still give
Allen
it
and
to.
Williams.
I would wait. Well, who's the Raiders' third wide receiver?
You got Hunter Renfro, you got Devontae Adams, and you got, I don't know.
I'm gonna go into the depth charts right now. Go ahead and talk about the
Are
next
you
game.
doing it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
But yeah, so I feel like basically what Noah was saying is they're better in every position, and just to add to that, it is in LA, which I think is a big boost. So
They don't have
me and
very
Noah,
much. To be honest, they don't have very much wide receiver depth. It's a guy named Mac Hollins. He's 28. I've never heard of him before.
yeah, not very good. So I think wide receivers, you can have a discussion, but I think every other position, it's clearly LA. Um, and I think they're going to come out, especially after what happened last season. I think they're really going to want to beat this team. So I think they're going to come out big and put up a big number this week. To close out Sunday, we have Tampa Bay going to Dallas.
Yeah, Tom Brady's first game back after unretiring. I did, however, have the Dallas Cowboys finishing as the 1 seed, so I'm gonna stick to that. I think the Cowboys are gonna win this game. Zeke, I think, is going to put up massive numbers just in this game. I don't think all season. And then you got CD, who I think is going to be great. Has Gallup been cleared?
I'm pretty sure Gallup's out for week 1, but supposed to be back for week 2.
Okay. They still have Tony Pollard, who I think could even slot in as a second receiver because that's basically what he is. He's a receiving back. I think their defense is good, even though I think Trayvon Diggs is probably the most overrated corner in the league. I still think he's good. He doesn't. You don't get 9 picks for no reason. But he still did let up a lot of yards. And I think Father Time is finally going to catch up with Mr. Thomas Brady.
We keep saying that. Is this the year? Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm gonna go Cowboys as well. I think we talked about this either last podcast or 2 ago. Like Godwin, he might not look his best, even though just because he's playing in week 1 doesn't mean he's 100%.
He's gonna get a touchdown for me though for fantasy.
Yeah, he'll probably put up 100 yards and a touchdown. Me saying that, but anyway, you got that. Their O line is taking a big hit. I know Tom Brady doesn't need any practice, but he hasn't been there. I think their defense is still really good, but I think CD Lamb's going to have a monster performance. I think Dak. Dak always plays well in front of his fans in Dallas. Obviously, Michael Gallup not being there is going to hurt, especially because you don't have Coop anymore. But I think the rookie Tolbert can come in. He was drafted pretty highly. I think that's for a reason. I think he can come in and make plays as well. You also got Dalton Schultz. And as much as we chirp their defense saying it's not as good as people think it is, it's still not bad. It's pretty good. So I think this is going to be a really good game. These two teams always play hard, but I do think Dallas comes away with this one as well. And then to wrap up our week 1 NFL, we have Denver traveling to Seattle, so Russ can face his old team.
Yeah, I think this is going to be Denver. I don't really think that Seattle's. I think they're starting Geno Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. DK should have a good year. I still think that he's a good player. Well, he is a good player. He's a great player. Tyler Lockett, it's good. I'm really hoping they use Rashad Penny a lot because that would be great for my fantasy.
You know what's crazy? Actually, speaking about fantasy, so that other fantasy league I'm in, I drafted DK, and with what's his name as quarterback. I'm having a mind fart. Give me his name.
For who?
DK.
What about him? Geno Smith?
Yeah, sorry, Geno Smith. When Geno Smith was the quarterback last year, DK put up really good numbers actually. And just as a little side game, I have DK in the other league. Guess how many points he's projected to get this week?
Like 11?
9.
Yeah.
You're telling me DK's not getting 9 points?
That's like
Come on.
3 catches. Not even.
Yeah, like 3 catches for 60 yards, 9 points. Anyways, I think he's gonna get. I think DK. I think he's being. I mean, he's 20. He's only 24. Like a couple years ago, people were calling him like the best wide receiver in football. I don't think that talent's gone anywhere. I think it's just quarterback play, but I think he's still gonna. Geno's gonna have to give him the ball. He's the best player they have. I do think they'll use Rashad Penny a lot. And then obviously you still got Tyler Lockett. So this team's still decent. Obviously quarterback play is going to hurt. Indecent. I'm not saying they're not going to. They're going to win this game, but I think they can still put up a couple points here. Obviously Denver's got a pretty good defense. We'll see what happens there, but I think Russ is going to have a big game here. Obviously being back in Seattle makes it that much more emotional for him. The emotions might be a little high the first couple drives. He might not look good the first couple drives, but by the end of the game, I think he'll put up pretty good stats, and Denver will run away with this game by the end of it.
Interesting. Yeah, for sure. A lot of good games in week 1.
You got to put the big boys week 1, get everyone interested. Well, the picks are locked. I got them over here now. Let's see how we do. I smoked you last year.
Yeah, I know. We stopped counting. All right, to finish this off, since we've only been going for about just over 30 minutes, I'm gonna go through the NFL top 100. Just give a quick good, bad, higher, low, higher, lower, good rating
Yeah.
for the player, and then I have 5 of the biggest snubs that didn't make the list that I will give to you after, and you tell me where you would have the range you would have put them. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100. Kyle Juszczyk.
That's fine.
He's the highest rated fullback.
He's the only one.
Yeah. 99. Kirk Cousins.
I don't mind it. He deserves to be there.
98. David Montgomery.
He probably, after the season he had last season, he probably could be a little bit higher, but I think going into this year, it's pretty good. I don't think he's going to have as good of a season.
Number 97. Leonard Williams.
I don't even know who that is. So
96. Jimmy Ward.
I don't know defensive players. So.
Jimmy Ward, safety for the 49ers.
Sure. You talk about the
95,
defensive
CD.
players. I don't know.
CeeDee Lamb, number 95.
CeeDee Lamb, way too low.
Justin Tucker, 94. Highest rated kicker.
If he's the highest rated kicker, he's good because he should be.
Von Miller, 93.
That seems a little low.
I think going into last year, he was still rated in the top 20. So they're saying he fell off that much last year.
I think after watching week 1, you can say that's a little low.
Yeah. 92, Tyron Smith.
I don't know.
He's an O-lineman. That's probably good. He's probably one of the top O-linemen in the league.
Okay.
Number 91, Kyle Pitts.
I think that's fine. He should probably be there after having one of the best rookie tight end seasons, but do it again, and I think he's going to be very high on this list.
Fair. 90, OBJ, free agent.
I like that as well. I think he had a very big. I'm surprised he's not on the team.
Number 89, Marshawn Lattimore.
I've actually heard that name. Where does he play?
Corner for the Saints.
That's why I've heard him. He probably picked Aaron Rodgers week 1 last year. For that reason, he's way too high.
You probably won't know this guy. Jonathan Allen, number 88, DN for the Commanders.
No, what do you think about him?
I think that's fair. I think he's probably one of the top 10 D linemen in the league, so I think he's in there. 87, Denzel Ward.
You comment about the
cornerback for the Browns.
I actually knew that because my franchise was with Cleveland.
Look at you.
He's
good then?
He's good. He was in franchise anyway.
86, Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, he's on Tampa Bay, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look at me go. Look at me go. Yeah. Sure.
85, Mac Jones.
I think that is high.
Would you have him rated higher than Kirk?
No.
No? Okay, interesting. No, I would not. Number 84, Roquan Smith. You got to know that name.
I have heard that name.
He plays for the Bears. You're seeing him twice a year.
Yeah, he's trash. Way too high.
83, Wyatt Teller, offensive guard for the Browns. I think that's a great spot for him. He's probably one of the top 5 guards in the league. 82, Kenny Moore, cornerback for the Colts. I don't know if you...
No.
No, okay.
Not a shot.
Not a 81, shot. Justin Simmons.
I've heard that name.
Safety for the Broncos.
I was actually going to say Broncos. Holy Jay. If I know the name, he's got to be pretty good, so that's too low.
80, James Conner.
After the year he had last year, that's way too low. I don't think he'll have the year he had last year, but going into this season, I think that's too low.
I was just talking about this guy earlier when we were doing game predictions. 79, Rashawn Slater, tackle for the Chargers.
I don't know.
I think that's great. He was a rookie last year. He had the best statistical rookie season by a tackle ever. So
yeah, it's hard to rank rookies. Do it again.
78, Trey Hendrickson. No? Okay.
No.
Okay, you have to know this. 77, Darius Slay.
Darius Slay's a 77?
Yeah. Last year he was unranked.
Wow. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. 76, Brian Burns.
Nope. Does he got burner wheels?
DN for Carolina. Number 75, Antoine Winfield Jr., the guy that gave Tyreek Hill the peace sign after he picked in the Super Bowl.
He should be hired just for that.
74, Demario Davis,
I feel like I've actually heard that name.
linebacker for the Saints.
Yeah, that's probably why I know all these Saints after week 1 against friggin' Packers last week.
73, Cordero Patterson.
Cordero, I think.
It's his first time ever being on the list in his 10th season.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was. I think that's fair. I think he will have a pretty good season once again. So I think he'll find himself back on this list. But I think that's pretty good.
72, Quandre Diggs, safety for the Seahawks.
Because that's not Diggs' brother.
No, it's not.
They showed Diggs' mom at the game. She's leaving right from that game to go to the Tampa Bay game. Yeah, she said they said she looked at the calendar, chose 6 weeks where she can attend both their games.
Damn.
And chose those 6 weeks so she's watching 6 games of each of her sons. And apparently she calls both of them a couple hours before the game, each game, and gets in, like, finds out how their mind space is doing and stuff like that, calms them down. Good old mother.
Good old mother. 71, Jason Kelsey.
I mean, he has a lot of hype around him from the Kelsey name, obviously. He's an O lineman?
Center. Yeah, he's a center.
Yeah. Philly, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Another mother that goes and watches their son.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Number 70, Tyrann Mathieu.
Is that, what do you think? Is
I
that
think
like, I don't know defense.
I think that's fair. I think it's hard to rank safeties. I'd say him and Justin Simmons are pretty even.
Fair enough. It's hard, yeah, because in my
Tyrann
mind,
Mathieu was the highest. Tyrann Mathieu was the highest rated safety in Madden, and I do remember that there are a couple safeties ahead of him on this list, so that's interesting.
I was gonna say, like, I obviously don't know defense well, but I thought he was one of the best safeties in the league. So 70, I don't know how. I guess, do they rank offensive players more valuable in the top 100?
I think so. I think.
Yeah. I guess that's
769. Nice. Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan.
DN for the Saints.
Yeah, terrible.
68. Zach Martin, probably the best guard in the league, not named Quentin Nelson. Here's a safety ranked higher than Tyrann. Number 67, we have Budda Baker.
Ooh, that's definitely a rank from the name. Yeah, well, I mean, I think just I don't know. I feel like his name has grown. Like, everybody knows Budda Baker. Like, even I know Budda Baker. I don't know if that's a ranking off his name or like his publicity.
We all know Budda Baker is the one that got chased down by DK.
Yeah, that's insane still.
Yeah. Number 66, DeForest Buckner, D tackle for the Colts.
I know that name, so he's got to be decent.
He used to play on San Fran.
That's why. All them
65. Oh, go ahead.
No, he must be terrible.
65, Derek Carr.
Damn. Well, I do think he is better than Kirk. I think he's better than Mac, so I'm okay with it.
64, Devin White.
Another Tampa Bay boy.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
This is one I might not, I don't agree with, and I don't think you will either. 63, Jalen Waddle.
Wow. I think you're telling me Jalen Waddle's 63 and CeeDee Lamb's 96?
Yeah, 95.
That's definitely not an outlook. That's not this right now projection. That is an end of season projection. Jalen Waddle's been so hyped this year, and I don't even know why. He's the second option, where CeeDee Lamb's the first option, where the second option isn't even proven yet. So,
yep. Number 62, Chandler Jones.
I know that name as well.
Who does he play for now?
I have no idea.
Plays the Raiders. Used to play for the Patriots and Cardinals.
Well, he played on some pretty good teams. He must be underrated.
61, Russell Wilson.
As far as quarterbacks go so far, he is the best one you've named, so it makes sense.
60, Corey Lindsley, center for the Chargers.
I think he's one of the best centers in the league, personally.
59, Max Crosby.
I think he had a massive season last year, so it makes sense.
58, Darren Waller.
Darren Waller, yeah, he's got lot to prove this year. I think this time next year, Kyle Pitts is what, 20 picks behind him?
Yeah, about.
I think Kyle Pitts could be a lot more than 20 picks in front of him next season.
57, Kyler Murray. That's an interesting one if you'd take Wilson or Kyler.
Yeah, who would I rather, Russell or that's pretty close. So the fact that they're pretty close in ranking is fine by me. If Kyler was where Russ was and Russ where was Kyler is, I wouldn't have a problem. If this way, I don't really have a problem either.
56, Xavier Howard.
Does he play on Philly?
No, he was on Miami.
Damn, that was a green team. I knew it. I have no idea.
55, Joel Bitonio, guard for Cleveland. 54, Jeffrey Simmons, who D-tackle for the Tennessee Titans, who unfortunately did just tear his ACL, so he's out for the whole season. He was a great young player.
Yeah, that sucks. I listened to a podcast about that.
53, Mike Evans.
That seems a little low for me, for Mr. Consistency. 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns.
52, Matt Judon.
See, the thing is, I know the name. I don't know, the problem is I don't know how he ranks up against people in his positions. I know he's pretty good. He was on he went to Carolina last year, right?
No, New England.
Who was on New England and went to Carolina?
Stephon Gilmore.
Okay, that's who I was thinking of. But Judon,
he used to play for the Ravens.
He's the leader of the defense, is he not?
Yeah, I would consider it.
That's okay. So I know who you're talking about now, but I don't know how he ranks against people in his position. So
That's fair. 51, Alvin Kamara.
I think it's fair. I think next year he'll be higher, but I mean, he wasn't totally productive last year, so it makes a little bit of sense. But
coming in at half a century mark, Micah Hyde.
I think it's fair.
I think
he's
so
one
too.
of the best in his position.
49, Devondre Campbell.
I know that name too.
He's on your favorite team, so I'd hope so.
Okay, that makes sense. He should be top 10, so underrated.
48, Robert Quinn. Yeah, had the second most sacks in the league last year.
Damn.
Plays for the Bears. Probably sacked Aaron Rodgers a couple times.
Yeah, a few probably.
47, Fred Warner.
He's on San Fran.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. I know that.
What a boy.
Criminally overrated.
46, Austin Eckler.
That's too low.
45, Jordan Poyer.
After the game he had last night, too low.
Yep. 44, Dak.
I think he should be a little bit closer to that Kyler Wilson range, but I mean, there's an argument to say he's the best quarterback name so far, so it is what it is.
43, Derwin James.
I know that name too.
I hope so.
Don't know who he plays for, but
Chargers.
Yeah. What do you think?
42, Cam Hayward of the Steelers.
I think him and Watt are a really good duo. I think one gets a lot of sacks because of the other, and it's vice versa.
Yep, agreed.
So I
41 is Tristan Wirfs, tackle of the Bucks.
Never heard of him.
Really?
No.
40, Justin Herbert.
Best quarterback name so far. I think it will end up being a little too low.
Number 39, Chris Jones, DN for the Chiefs.
Never heard of him.
38, Joe Mixon.
Above
Eckler. Just
yeah, that's a little high in my opinion. Yeah, a little high.
Number 37, D-Hop.
You know what? I think it's all right. I think he's going to come back and be really good. He was he was / is one of the best receivers to ever play this game. So I'm okay with it.
That's fair. Number 36, Lamar Jackson.
You know what? I think he should, especially being injured last season, he should be behind Justin Herbert.
Okay, that's fair. 35, Justin Herbert's teammate, Keenan Allen.
At what number?
35.
That's fair. I feel like this is the area Mike Evans should be at.
Fair enough. Number 34, Kevin Byard.
Don't know.
Safety for the Titans.
I'm waiting for me to say I don't know him, and you say safety for the Green Bay Packers.
Nick Chubb, 33.
I think it's fair. He's still one of the best in the game. It's just
32, Mark Andrews.
in my opinion, I don't know if this is how he's ranked, but second best tight end in the game. So fair enough.
31, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I don't mind that. This is also where Eckler should still be higher than Cook, but Cook should be here.
Interesting. Joey Bosa, 30.
I don't mind it. Another big name.
Bobby Wagner, 29.
It seems pretty good to me.
Quentin Nelson, 28.
I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with players like when you get into this caliber. So
Matt Stafford, 27.
that's definitely just because of the Super Bowl. I think he is behind Lamar and Herbert.
26, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, you haven't named a wide receiver I'd probably rather yet. So
Nick Bosa at 25.
yeah, that's fair.
Here's an interesting one. Jamar Chase, 24.
I mean, if you're looking at the season he had last year, I think it's pretty fair. Like going into this season, would I rather have Jamar Chase than Stephon Diggs? Probably. So I'm okay with it.
23, Trayvon Diggs.
That's definitely just because of all the picks he had last year.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do it again. Let's see.
22, George Kittle.
I think he should be behind Mark Andrews.
21, Joe Burrow.
That's fair, but then I'm saying you should have players like Lamar and Herbert up there in that range.
J.C. Jackson, 20.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Deebo Samuel, 19.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think just the evolutionary season he had last year, running and catching.
You might know him as Darius Leonard, but he now goes by Shaquille Leonard at 18.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that, but I mean, he's a good player, so he can do what he wants.
Justin Jefferson at 17.
He's the best wide. I'm gonna say that's fine because of the wide receivers you've named, but because of the ones you haven't, I'm gonna say low because I would rather Tyreek Hill. And I know there's some other ones you can name that I would rather. I think the only people you could say he's behind for sure is Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp.
Okay, fair. Micah Parsons, 16. That's
Yeah.
his debut, by the way, after his
Yeah.
rookie year.
Yeah, that's very high for a rookie, but I mean he was stellar and carried that defense, so I'm okay with that.
Guy you just mentioned, Tyreek Hill at 15.
Okay, you know what? That's not too bad. I thought he was going to be a lot higher. I think him and Jefferson should be switched, but I'm not terribly mad.
Highest O tackle rank, Trent Williams at 14.
Highest ranked O tackle. I don't even know who he is.
Josh Allen, 13.
Okay, you know, I'm starting to like this list. I thought there would be a lot of players drafted a lot, but I thought he would be a lot higher, but I'm okay with that.
Derrick Henry at 12.
As he should be. Obviously, he's been one of the best forever.
And then we got Myles Garrett at 11.
And I mean, he's probably only behind TJ Watts. That's okay.
TJ Watt and Aaron Donald. But
oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about Aaron Donald. My bad. But yeah, that's how it should be.
starting off the top 10, number 10, we got Travis Kelce.
He's the best tight end, so as long as he's ranked it, I'm okay with it.
We have at number 9, Jalen Ramsey.
You could say the number one quarterback, so as long as he's rated like it, that's fine by me.
8, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. I mean, he is the best quarterback you've named so far.
Number 7, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they have Cooper Cup one, which is understandable. He had a historic season last year.
TJ Watt at 6.
Well, that's fair enough. He was half a sack away from leading the breaking the record, so
Yep.
deserving.
Number 5, we have Jonathan Taylor.
Let me make a mental note here. You probably got Aaron Rodgers, you got Tom Brady. Who else is in front of him? Aaron Donald. I think he should be number. And have you named Cooper Cup yet?
No, you
So
just named the top 4 right there.
okay, I think he should be in front of. I know he was number one, so it's going to be sound terrible. I think he should be in front of Brady.
Number 4, Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I agree with that. This would actually no, I don't. This would be mine if I could do the top 5. Okay.
Yep.
My top 5 would be, and this isn't to sound biased, but he's back-to-back MVP, so it'd be hard not to. I would have Aaron Rodgers. I would have Aaron Donald. I would have Cooper Cup. I would have Jonathan Taylor. I would have Tom Brady.
Number 3, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Criminally low.
Number 2 is Aaron Donald, which leaves Tom Brady at number 1.
I just think after last season, I don't see how you can say Tom Brady is not even the best player in the league, like the best quarterback in the league. Obviously, historically, he is, but if we're talking about last year,
Agreed.
yeah. Where would you have Tom? Would you have Tom in the top
I'd definitely
5?
have him top 10, but I'd probably have Mahomes and Rodgers over him.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that for sure.
And now I'm just gonna give you like 4 or 5 snubs that people that didn't make it, and then just give me like a range that you would have fit them in.
Okay.
My first snub, I got Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro, I would have.
Or just you can even say, yeah, he's not making my list.
No, he's definitely top 100. I'm trying to think of a wide receiver I like to put him beside. I don't know. I think he should be in like the 80 range.
Fair. Yep, that's fair. That's probably where I'd have him too. Number 2, he was hurt a lot last year, but your boy, Jair Alexander.
Yeah, he was hurt, so it makes sense. I still just because he was hurt, I'd probably have him same like 80s. He
Yeah,
wouldn't be
fair.
high on the list. I think he's going to be very high next year.
Number 3, Scary Terry.
Uh, see, that's tough. I think Scary Terry is a little bit better than Hunter Renfro. I'd put him in the 70s.
Number 4, AJ Terrell.
Yeah, that's actually a big one.
He had just throwing a stat out there, he had the highest pro football grade of cornerbacks for last year.
For what?
For cornerbacks for the whole year.
Like he was the most consistent, is what you're
He was
saying?
the most consistent cornerback, so he had the highest grade. Like he had the best game. Technically, going off like ratings, he was probably you could consider him the best cornerback for coverage last year.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't remember where the quarterbacks were rated. I think they were pretty low. Well, I guess in numbers wise, they're pretty high. But I do think he should be rated than any of the players, higher than any of the players you've named before so far.
Number 5, last snub I got, DK.
DK, oh my god, I didn't even realize he didn't make the list. Holy jeez. DK is better than Renfro and Scary Terry in my mind. Who is the wide receiver I had that we were talking about that was ahead of CeeDee Lamb by like 20 spots?
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. You're telling me he's not better than Jalen Waddle? And Jalen Waddle was in the 60s?
He's like 64.
Yeah, DK should be in the 50s.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Anyways, I think that'll wrap it up. We'd actually talked for a decent amount. If you guys enjoy, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to never miss another episode, and we'll be back next week. See ya.
See ya.